Mel, please come up and introduce yourself and tell everyone what the heck a sacral authority is.
Oh, hello everyone. My name is Mel McSherry. My pronouns are they, she, and I am an international business and life guide where I help very inspired yet very overwhelmed entrepreneurs honor their lives and be the true architect of their success through utilizing a spiritual tool called human design in partnership with traditional business development tools and frameworks.
I love it. And so tell everyone what human design is and what I was saying about sacral authority. And while you do that, you guys, my toxic trait is that I don't keep my devices charged. So I need to switch over to my other microphone while Mel takes the stage. Okay.
So, human design is a system that is a combination of several already well-standing formulas, and that is Kabbalah, I Ching, astrology, chakras, and quantum physics. And what it shows you is your energetic blueprint. I like to call it, it shows you your operations manual because so often we have these pullings, right? We talk about our whys all the time, which is fantastic. Simon Sinek has just coined that to a T. But what we tend to get overwhelmed and disconnected to is our how. And then we get so overwhelmed by everything that we think we need to do, everything that people are telling us that we should do, and we don't go back to or understand how to connect to ourselves and what we already know to be true because we each have a specific way that we work inside of our lives and inside of our businesses. So, with Jessica saying that she's a sacral authority, um, one of the parts that I do talk about when I work with clients as well as on my one-on-one readings is your authority. Each of us have a different authority. And spoiler alert, it is not your head. And very rarely is it your heart. It is predominantly either your sacral or you are what's called an emotional authority. And bits and pieces of information like that are so beautiful and so validating because it helps us really understand our process. It really helps us understand our pace. And it gives us that trust that we can build inside of ourselves as well as trust inside of our specific processes.
Yeah, and I know that part of your story is that before you knew that human design was a thing,
Mhm.
you I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you were kind of like struggling to understand like why it was difficult because I think you're a projector, right? Did you tell?
I am, yes.
Yeah, so like you work in shorts. So talk a little bit about what it was like before you knew it was a thing and then like why are you so passionate about like helping other people know about it?
Yeah, so before I knew about human design, I was a very copy and paste, give me the gold star type of person. And I 100% subscribed to the, sleep is for the weak, entrepreneurs work a gazillion hours a day. And I was very structured and I was very busy. And on paper, I looked very successful. I was speaking all over the world. I was getting paid to speak. I was, doing all these fantastic things. And yet, every single day, I felt like I was internally battling with myself because I was forcing myself to do these things, even though they didn't really feel right. And yes, I was getting results, but the results were very surface level. And I realized, and I was trying to figure out how I could be myself in my business. And then I realized I didn't know myself. I didn't know really who I was. I didn't really understand my best practices. I went through the majority of my life just saying, tell me what to do and I'll do it. And yay. And then when I had my human design read, I always like to say human design found me in 2020 and I had my chart read. I sobbed because it was the biggest piece of validation and confirmation that I could have ever received to be like, I'm not crazy. I'm not lazy. That's why this is affecting me, or that's why this didn't work, or what that's why this did work. And all of a sudden, all of these shoulds and all of these gray areas became either can or can'ts or completely black and white. And it was such a moment of clarity to where that again gives me that confidence that even when things get murky because we are human and we are in different environments all of the time. I now have an operations manual that I can consistently turn to and go, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where what I'm feeling. How can I move through it? What can I do to maintain my profitability mentally, emotionally, and financially as this transition is happening or as I am receiving these new invitations and information?
That's incredible. And it's like before you know about something and then you learn about it and it changes your life, it does light a fire that, makes you want to get it out there so that because then wow, if I'm feeling this way, if I felt this way, other people must be feeling that way. So talk to us about what your experience has been like the last year working with Interview Connections, getting on podcasts, like just share a little bit about what the journey has been.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, it's been absolutely amazing. You and I met actually like years ago,
Yeah.
and we connected instantly, and you were always in the back of my head. And 2023 was a really difficult year for me personally. It was a year that I decided to put my business kind of on autopilot and really focus on my mental and emotional health. And during that time, I realized that I still had some foundations in my business that were still just thrown up there, right? I felt like 2023 was one of those years where I just kind of stripped everything down to the studs. And last year, 2024, I wanted to rebuild my foundations. And when I was looking at what I had done before that worked, but now knowing who I am as a projector and inside of my human design, how can I shift that? Speaking is one of my favorite things to do. I love it. And it can also be very draining for me, traveling and being inside of so many different energies at so much at one time that I remembered our conversation 4 years ago. I'm like, podcasting, that's like the best of everything. I get to schedule it when I have the time and energy. So I'm not pressured to do anything that I don't want to do. And when I want to do it, I can show up in my space, in my authority. And it has really not only helped me say goodbye to past Mels, which is a beautiful thing to do, it has also really solidified who I am right now inside of this space. I am a human design expert. I am a human design practitioner, and I am extremely passionate to show, especially entrepreneurs, how powerful they already are and where that power lies. So we are done with this copy and paste lemming style, and we get into our zone of genius, our process, because that's what's really going to create longevity and sustainability when it comes to the profitability in your life and in your business.
I love it. And you've done some really cool things to amplify your visibility with podcast guesting. So tell us about the Spotify playlist. Because when you did it, I was like, this is genius. I need everyone to do this.
So I was trying to figure out a way where everybody could just find all the different types of shows that I'm on. Because they're not all business focused. They're not all, spirituality focused. There's a big melting pot inside of there. And so I was like, well, I'll just create a playlist. That way on my website, it's constantly up to date and I don't have to keep going back to my website, making sure that my last one was there. And if anybody does want to hear me, they can see which episode actually calls to them and they can really get what they need or what they're looking for, hopefully, in that time in that period. So yeah, and I'm making a new one for 2025 because we are re-upping this year.